And I'm not trying to buy customers. I'm trying to buy utter cult-like devotion here. And so I'll only ever buy an ad to like a lead magnet that will make you absolutely fall in romantic love with the brand. And the podcasts are the same way. The level of FaceTime to get to the level of reading a blog post that's top of funnel is like 100x. People think it's like, three times more likely. It's exponential and everything in this stuff. And same reason we started a community. Page views are going to get harder and harder to drive. Impressions are going to get more and more fickle. But if you within an orbit, that is the highest level of devotion and engagement. And you have, and podcast is so central to that as well. And most people just think about raw numbers rather than like how much devotion did that buy, that intangible like ether that you can get from that level of contact with someone.
I'm John Wright, and you're listening to Affiliate BI, the business intelligence and affiliate marketing podcast brought to you by StatsGrow. Welcome to the Affiliate BI podcast. Today we're chatting with Jamie I.F, and he's the founder of Endorsely, which is a SaaS affiliate program. So Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
So I want to start off with Endorsely because we have a SaaS product, and anytime I see any sort of affiliate program software, I'm interested, I geek out on it. But tell us what Endorsely is. And I know you've got some cool stuff from the agency side of things.
Yes, my history in affiliate marketing, to recap up to the point of deciding to create the software, is that I graduated from uni and I tried to start a social enterprise, which is like a business that helps and can make profit, not like a charity, but like a quasi half charity. I think they call them B Corps or something in the States or something like that. And they can help, but they also sustain. Because like when COVID hit off, I was really annoyed that as soon as an economic downturn would happen, like it was really difficult because charities that rely on donations would suddenly be like 3 weeks away from having to shut their doors. And I hated the idea of something that wouldn't be self-sustaining. So my whole thing was creating like a soup company, which is, it does lead into affiliate marketing eventually. It's
Okay.
just that it's a funny, ironic twist and turn into it, right? And so I got really into this idea of social enterprise. And so we built like this, like I used all my £2,000 that was to my name at the time, built the packaging, the flavors, the recipes, and we go to the Sunday markets. No one cared. And then worst industry ever, low profit margins, the goods spoil in 5 days. And to get the economies of scale to be able to do that, the level where it can self-sustain, to be able to give one away to a soup kitchen for everyone we sold, you needed the economies of scale, which required millions and millions of dollars that I didn't have. So I was like, how do I do this? I discovered SEO online because I'd been doing SEO for a French publisher when I lived in France back during my industry year. I was like, all right, I'll give this a go. Created the first like niche affiliate site, and the ads came through from Google ads at that point, before like the Ezoics and ad thrives were a thing. And it got $1 or £1 in a day. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I put an Amazon affiliate link on there in the end. And the first day made $15. Okay, maybe this could actually pay itself off because I needed a way to make a lot of money. And I was experimenting and Googling how to make money and all this stuff. Really luckily, by luck, not really skill, it grew this portfolio through in 2022 and 23. We did over $1 million in profit over those 2 years, just about, only just, and peaked at about $80,000 in December 2022, I think was when we did the most, $81,000 in profit from that one. We've been hit by HCU since, like they're on the back burner. I can't really go below 20, 30K because of Bing, like love Bing, love a bit of Bing traffic that doesn't go down like Google does. So they mostly sit on the back burner. But in doing that, I started to tweet about it and talk about it. And then as a result of sort of growing a personal brand on Twitter within affiliate marketing, got talking to a company called Lasso. And I joined and headed up the marketing from in 2022 of December. When they were at their peak, I left the knee size to do 4 days a week at Lasso. So I headed up the marketing there. I'm really happy with what happened there. But when we were growing the affiliate like channel, and we did a good job in my opinion. We've got the full case study on the Endorsely website if anyone wants to read exactly what we did to grow that and 40x the revenue from that. But I was really frustrated, and I'm not going to name the software we used because actually it was pretty good overall. But there was just some bits that weren't like quite what I wanted in the software regarding some of the data, which to be fair, we haven't gone and done crazy stuff with yet. We're still very much a work in progress. But just like, for example, like one element would be like, you just see conversions and like with a SaaS, like a conversion is like a fickle thing. Like you need to see deeper than just like, did they churn after a month? Did they try and commit affiliate fraud? There's a million things that you could have done there. It is like a one is not one, like two really good customers that you can upsell into massive other stuff are worth far more than 10 random people that churn. But you couldn't get that data in order to focus on specific affiliates. And so I wanted to build the software that I wanted to use after I left Lasso. And so it took about 6 months. And that is how we came to launch the Endorsely software. Now, when we were talking to people in our network, we were like, all right, trying to buy this. And everyone was like, yeah, it's cool, but we don't really have time. Can you run it for us? We're like, ah, shit, I've got to build
Okay.
agency that
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do. And so since then, every time we talk to you, keeps being interested. And so we've had to do it and build out the systems and reluctantly, accidentally built an affiliate management agency, which has actually been really fun because it took all of the processes that we built or that I built, like having grown the previous programs like the Lasso one. And since then, some other brands that I have equity and investments in and lets us play and experiment with things like that. And so I think it's good to keep my affiliate game sharp because I was an affiliate marketer and then an affiliate man, and then learning from the different sort of areas. For example, like I've never done an iGaming, but like now I've done all these other industries that are around different SaaS niches. I've learned so much more that I think can make me a better software founder to understand like the pain points and that's just like everything that people would need to know in order to make a better product. So it worked out, I think. But it's just not the typical journey through to the end goal, I reckon.
But it does explain why you're in the position you are to do three different things. Although it's been a short period of time, I think you've done them very well. And I think that's a superpower. I actually think it's really interesting that you've added the agency component because we've not done that on our side as a company, but we had some customers that said, okay, not only did they want things set up for them, they knew that there's an advanced, like bigger picture. Like, how do we get this whole BI platform set up? And I think we could be missing out on that. Definitely, I'm going to pick your brain for a couple more things, especially this Lasso book.
Yeah, it depends how in the product management you are, because it's a great source of revenue, especially when the software is free. And we made the software free because everyone wanted to do the agency. We're like, oh, maybe like this can pay for this now and it will help with. I do think that SaaS will trend to, especially zero data moat SaaSes in the next 2 years will trend towards being free because there will just be less barriers to entry tech wise. But you can't, and I'm giving the game away here. I probably
Yeah.
shouldn't say this, but like you can't beat a data moat. And so
I think it's an interesting take. A lot of the finance apps, let's see, Profit Paddle, Founder Path, Cap Chase, they're giving you SaaS dashboards, but there's a catch. I went through the profit funnel and that was insightful as hell. So here's some free dashboards. And it's, oh, you want to optimize your pricing? Here's how much it costs. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I won't mention.
I spoke to Patrick Campbell and he actually gave some really good advice before when we were building the last bits of Endorsely. I think he sold Profit Well for 200 million or something crazy.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I
roughly.
want some of that kind of money. And so he was like, what you should do is have the beginning bit free and have a minimum of 12 upsells. Like, all right, precisely 12. All right, bear it in mind. All right, 12. Good
12.
noted.
Yeah.
I'll figure out 12 things I can sell people in the future. But he said that you have to be so good at UX design that no one who doesn't need those other 11 ever comes into contact with them. And I was like, oh, that's some really good advice.
I'm definitely going to listen to this episode all over again. Let's jump into the Lasso. So it's getlasso.co. You're the CMO there for a few years. I followed it. Like we were just chatting before recording. No joke. In my pitch deck, I actually had the Lasso as the SEO go to market. We don't compete with Lasso directly, but we have some indirect competition. So I said, look, this is what's possible. So tell us some of the work you did there.
So yeah, a lot of the SEO was in place before I joined. We just and so I can't take credit for some of what happened, but we did go and redouble down on some other things, as well as like a parasite strategy that I don't think people notice how well, or like the results from that because like low key. But yeah, so the great thing was we had a Lasso, we had an average quality score problem because we had all of these indexed pages, and they were the pages that now are doing so. The affiliate program listicles, as well as like the individual scraped different like Nike and Adidas affiliate program pages that have cookie and the commission rate, the general things. And we really re-optimized them. And that was one of the first use cases of programmatic SEO and AI that I've ever seen work because you could create these incredible templates with the raw HTML and guidelines, have your own scraped data, and then from there actually have information gain inducing AI for a rarity where, because people usually associate AI with just slop, but you can actually use it to hit search intent with the right programmatic templates and things like that. And they did really well for traffic and also opened the floodgates for all of the rest of the content that wasn't given the chance to impress. Because while we had a good 60 whatever DR, it was diluted over so many pages that it didn't give the actual good pages the chance to shine. And so once we improved the quality score from there, managed to get, tens of thousands of more page views from the actual programmatic pages, which deserved to rank higher. Now they were better hitting search intent, but were programmatically done infused with AI. It let the sort of human written a unique information gain stuff. Like we had a really good article. They're still there on a product review template for how to write a product review. And that's 3,500 words. It took me 3 days to write that. And it's really unique information, but that didn't rank as well as it should do because it was when you have a too low average quality score over a website SEO wise, and it's too diluted, you just will never get like it's like having a stone on your head, like it's like crushing weight. And so you need to free that up in some cases and they let those like actual human written ones do their thing, which were much better for conversions or putting people into a lead magnet to then go through the sequences. Whereas the programmatic was mostly for like top line brand engagement and raw numbers that obviously it doesn't convert as high as some other content.
Interesting. So, given that you've got a bit more experience now that you're building Endorsely, what would you keep doing if you were to also keep working at Lasso? Or, selfish question, I do this once in a while. What would you do in our case as we have like the affiliate stats component? We do have affiliate program reviews. We do have some category pages. What are some things we could do?
Yeah, so I still own equity in Lasso, so I'm going to be diplomatic with my
Okay.
answer. I actually genuinely, despite like equity or no equity, think that I would do what they're doing now. In that there's just, if you see what Levanta are talking about and assuming that they're not spoofing the revenues, there's so much money there that I think they should continue doing what they're doing. Um, Even a small portion of that is valuable. The Amazon affiliate network is, so as long as Amazon don't come and decide that they want to be the only player in town, it looks to be incredibly lucrative right now. And I'd be playing in the creator game that they're trying to play in.
That makes sense. And so you, I think, acquired Answer Socrates or Socrates. I've read about this, but I don't know what the tool does. I've seen it a couple times before. But what is that tool? Because I geek out on SEO tools all the time.
Yes, I used to use it all the time back in like 2022 before some of the other tools got more advanced and before Answer Socrates, the original version, was neglected because it was just a really good way of finding new questions that if you have an existing blog post or you're doing a content brief of servicing information that you might not have originally like thought of, or H2 topics or FAQs or anything else like that. Back in the day when like informational posts were like good and they weren't like getting eaten up by AI and they were a good source of niche site traffic, display ads and stuff. More now, for user answers, obviously now you need an e-commerce or SaaS brand to be able to create this informational content that Google still wants to rank to get an AI overview or something like that, rather than like for like brute click like gain and stuff like that. Like it has to be a zero click mostly strategy now for the informational stuff. But yeah, it's a great way of like finding new questions for topics, as well as just getting now we've improved it, a very quick topical map. And because you can type in seed keywords, get 500, 1,000 keywords, download the CSV, import it into the keyword clustering feature that we offer there for free, and then get that put into it, into each cluster for the main topics. I wouldn't say that's the end. I don't think you can go, oh, I've just saved $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever you'd pay for a really good topical map for your next 300 articles. But considering that it's free and it's done in like under a minute, I'd say that like we've changed the game on that front because everyone else will charge you. Even the software will be, in excess of $100 a month for a lot of this stuff. And we made it free and democratized it. And it's actually good as well. Some people have built like, no offense to them, because it is really cool, but they've built like custom GPTs for clustering. It's like cool, but like it's never going to be as good as like a machine learning like Python library that can actually detect like embeddings compared to a GPT that will just, this looks like, it's just not the
Yeah.
same level of interpretation. And so we try to do it the proper way, and it's free and anyone can use it. And it's an OG tool and I'm like happy with it. And we're also trying to grow, like it's ironic because I've grown affiliate programs, but I've never grown like viral loop referral programs before. And so I'm learning stuff with this now, right? Because we're trying to build out this part where if you refer someone else, you get a bunch more free credits and stuff like that. But then if they then upgrade, you get the 30% recurring standard SaaS stuff. But putting them together is, I'm like, how do I figure this out? And how do I like communicate this simply? Because one or the other sounds great, but if you tell people both, they're like, oh, this sounds a bit confusing. I'm not sure I can promote
Yeah.
this. And it's interesting because trying to give like the easier incentive is like difficult to communicate. And it's a lesson in doing one thing so well that everyone instantly gets it, like a product market fit, but like an affiliate market fit almost. It's an
Yeah.
interesting lesson learned to that.
Yeah, it reminds me of our situation, which for the tool we have, like Lasso, I think is easy because it's like it's ad tech. It's of course I need these ad widgets, but on the stats side, what I personally think to be true, could be wrong, is that I think affiliates are problem aware, but they're not solution aware. If you Google affiliate stats collector, affiliate stats app, all this stuff, you're not going to find us. You're not going to find any of our competitors. You're going to find like actually affiliate network software, or you're going to
Cool.
find impact.com. So it's interesting.
Yeah. I actually, no, don't worry. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. It's not.
I want to talk about iGaming. I know you're not the iGaming expert, but what I'm seeing happen in the iGaming space is that I don't think all affiliate sites are getting smashed equally. I think SaaS might be somewhat protected. I could be wrong, but what's your take on SaaS focused affiliate sites? And should people be still trying to pivot away from the written content?
Yes, I can't speak for iGaming because I was actually interviewing an iGaming affiliate manager to join our team because I do and would prefer hiring someone with that experience just because I think it's the most cutthroat, murderers area that
It's not that, trust me. I'll
like
tell you
every
about it
time.
later.
All right, but every time I talk to someone who's been in the game, I'm just like, yeah, that's a killer that I would hire. There's no soft like, everyone's got the right mindset for get traffic in, get it done, get the KPIs here. Or it can be a bit more, oh, it wasn't attributed or
Yeah.
whatever on SaaS. It's like they get the game like in iGaming.
They would
Um,
be better suited for a SaaS affiliate program, not iGaming, because iGaming to me is about both relationship building with the affiliate and then having this relationship concept going, how do I get connected with the players? You
mm,
should be focused on retention because the revenue share component of iGaming is everything. Like this is everything for all of them, especially the affiliates.
yeah, yeah, interesting. Um, but regarding the content side, so um, I can't speak for iGaming, but for example, when I do leads list now and I'm scraping all of the like, how we do it for when we're outreaching people for agency clients in the SaaS space, we divide everyone into high touch, mid touch, and low touch affiliates based on certain criteria. And the low touch is just the entire, everyone knows how to do an Ahrefs where you find the affiliate index codes related to whatever software they're using, whatever network they're using. And you can just instantly find a big list of everyone who's promoting SEMrush or Surfer SEO or Get Go High Level or whatever. Easy. Low touch list done. And then we do the mid touch. And the mid touch list is the one that's been absolutely torched by HCU because it involves, so mid touch for us is anyone who's ranking for a specific URL that we want to be part of, irrespective of traffic. We just want that because people aren't like, we don't get the credit for this, but we try and only take on clients that appreciate this. And that even if this is not a high traffic driving thing, this is a scraped piece of LLM training data. And if you say Endorsely is the best affiliate software, I don't give a fuck if that's linked. I don't care if it's got a rel equals sponsored, rel equals hacked, link banned. I don't care. Obviously, that doesn't exist, but like, I want the most instances of brand mentions, and I don't mind if it's unlinked. I want to train data to say whatever I wanted to say. I want to do like effectively affiliate ORM. And so that's the mid touch list, irrespective of traffic. But they are like usually the mid-touch list is usually what sets you like off. Like we try not to take on clients unless just the base affiliate outreach can get us there. And then all the cool niche little B2B partnership co-marketing newsletter swaps we do are just like nice, like the bits that set us apart, but not like the bits you need. And it's getting tougher and tougher to do that from written blog content because so few people are ranking. And the remaining ones are so big that they're one, difficult to get a response from, and two, even more difficult to do a deal with. The independent content creator is in a tough spot. And those were the people that like sent it home for a lot of affiliate programs. And so on the written side, it's difficult. We're actively trying to make sure that we are as not reliant on SEO driven affiliates as possible overall, just because I think that this will continue to trend in this direction. And so we're like overhauling how I can tell you off camera some crazy shit that's like we're trying to pivot towards as well that I can't really talk about here. But with the YouTube stuff, getting better at scraping niche TikTokers, building the networks of people on there. We're trying to pioneer some paper impression stuff on LinkedIn and Twitter as well, where you get paid flat rates per impression. And you obviously have to monitor that for fraud because there are networks of accounts that will just retweet you 100 times and get you 100K impressions, but it's complete nonsense. And so there's fraud there, as well as LinkedIn doesn't share. So you have to check the HTML and stuff like that. But we're trying to um, build systems to be able to do like paper impressions. So they draw an influencer. You don't have to put an affiliate link. They'll kill reach on these platforms and stuff like that to do more like creator led stuff like that. But again, it doesn't have the scale and recurring nature of SEO traffic. And so it's so good when it's good, but it's getting really tough to do and tough to pivot away from.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ideas. What are some other things you would do if you've got a SaaS affiliate program? They're like, hey, I want to grow my audience. It doesn't matter whether it's us or Lasso or anyone else. There's some amazing SEO ideas, but what would you say, like, how can an affiliate manager be a bit more proactive and not just say, hey, here's a program, here's your login, here's your links, go do your work?
When they're approaching affiliates,
Yeah,
like what I'll say is that we have, like, again, mid-touch is still like outreach that will go out through a personalized AI assisted flow that we do. Whereas the high touch is we have an actual outreach specialist that we split away from the affiliate manager, whose job is just to make friends with really important people. And that will be differently done. So if we're talking like mid-touch personalizations, but semi-automated, it's, hey, depending on how big the brand is, we either go from the founder if they give us permission, or we go from just like an Endorsely affiliate partners email that just goes, hey, really love your stuff. I've seen that you promote XYZ. We'd love you to promote us. But then if like pretty scalable, making sure that it's likable as if you'd say it to a friend or a colleague, make sure that it's friendly and not annoying. And then for the high touch, it's literally just like commenting on their YouTube stuff, commenting on LinkedIn, joining their free communities, just being like tweeting about them, just being a fan and then building that
networking.
relationship. Yeah, it's just being chill. Just be a cool person. Just hire chill people to make friends with all the cool people and then bring them in.
Yeah. And the easiest way to get your attention is to be like, hey, you did amazing work at Lasso.
There we go. It's words. And now we're tweeting about the
Yeah.
StatsTrade affiliate program
Which
later. And
is
it's all
true.
worked well.
Yeah. What's your take? Like, here's my journey of being a SaaS founder is I didn't know what I was doing in terms of getting started. I'm like, okay, we got a SaaS product. I thought it was actually going to sell itself just by existing. Dead wrong. We hired someone for sales and they didn't really do a good job. We end up spending money, no net revenue, wasted time. The things that I experimented with that have worked well for us, and maybe they're not scalable, is we did a podcast. I think that's helped build trust, which has led to sales. We have, in my opinion, in our case, I think sometimes our buyer journey is a bit long, and I don't know if there's a strategy for solving that. And LinkedIn has actually helped out quite a bit. When we get people signing up, the top three things are word of mouth, LinkedIn, and podcasts.
Mhm. Nice, nice. Interesting. Yeah, like the thing, yeah, they don't scale to like millions and millions. So you need to figure out how to, what can add like a million a year. It's, you're limited to stuff like that. These are like
Yeah.
ridiculous paid strategies, just going to crunch you every single year. Like really great affiliate stuff. Yeah, like there's not much for like when you talk millions and millions, you've done really well with the things that work. But they like, yeah, you just have to do 10 more podcasts every day.
Yeah. To be fair, I've actually been on a few SEO focused affiliate podcasts as a guest, and I've actually had a few signups from that. And I was shocked. I'm like, how do I know where I'm getting more signups? And I think if we were a SaaS product that was more focused on everything in affiliate marketing rather than just currently we're iGaming, we're planning to expand out. But I think if we were a bit more focused on everything, I'd easily target like who's the who in affiliate marketing and podcasts. I think that would be more fruitful to at least be like, let me do guesting.
It's a good strategy to do that anyway, in my opinion. I would recommend you do it now preemptively, just because a lot of people that start as normal go into iGaming and then they'll know you and they'll champion you inside the organization they work for. And you just want to be referenced at the front of people's minds so that someone else who might be in the niche then tells them like, there's so much like non intangibles of this stuff. Like even from, I do random ones sometimes and someone will come up and it'll be like an amazing opportunity from something that didn't even seem relevant and much less relevant than like affiliate into like iGaming affiliate. And so I reckon it's worth preemptively doing those. If I were you, as on a personal brand, I would recommend still doing that. I know it's a lot of time and you got to get over I feel the same way, but honestly, I've seen so much benefit that I'd recommend it because I think it just goes really well. When they hit and when that like right person goes, even if they get like 100 views, like two of those people are worth like 100 grand a year.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I've experienced it firsthand and I don't really, I've asked a lot of SEOs. I said, do you get some videos that maybe have 50 views, but what's behind it? And sometimes they say, sometimes my best deals come from those tiny videos that people just disregard and think, oh, this person's wasting their time on YouTube. And it's the opposite.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People, I think that's a vanity metric as long as you're in front of the right people. And there's also like the thing I always tell like the marketing team is think about devotion per page view, which is why like I'll never buy a paid ad to a landing page for a SaaS. I might do it for e-commerce because you put money in, you get money out. Fuck it, whatever, no one cares. But for this stuff where it's like brand building stuff, like I will never buy an. I refuse, like morally or like philosophically, because it doesn't give you devotion. And I'm not trying to buy customers. I'm trying to buy like utter cult like devotion here. And so I'll only ever buy an ad to like a lead magnet that will make you absolutely fall in romantic love with the brand. And the podcasts are the same way. if you do not like the level of FaceTime to get to the level of reading a blog post that's top of funnel is like 100x. People think it's like, three times more likely. It's exponential and everything in this stuff. And same reason we started a community. Like like page views are going to get harder and harder to drive. Impressions are going to get more and more fickle. But if you like within an orbit, like that is you don't get like that is the highest level of like devotion and engagement. And you have, and podcast is so central to that as well. And most people just think about raw numbers rather than like how much devotion did that buy, that intangible like ether that you can get from that level of contact with someone.
And I think those things are almost difficult to measure. And it makes me think about not just iGaming, but other industries where it's almost like a pay to play. Now, it's not quite the case. I think the world of sales and marketing today is different. And the only reason why I know this is because I've done those things. Like I've been doing things where it's like, all right, if I want to be a speaker at a conference, it's so here's how much you have to pay. I'm like, what? And it's, if you want to attend, you got to pay. And I'm like, okay, is this where the world is going? And I just said, screw it. Like we're a hustle startup with a minimal budget. We did do fundraising, but I'm like, we need $5 to go as long as possible. So I did all the things that were free. Podcasting. And next, wait a minute, I've got my own channel. I've got my own audience. LinkedIn, 11,000 followers. And do you think that's one mistake that a lot of SaaS companies make is they think they need to create a $100,000 budget, raise money for it, and just blast through random ads and go, this is what all my competition does.
I think it falls on both sides. So I think you hang out with different people that I hang out with because I've been like in Bali the last few months with the indie hacker meetups, and they're all really technically brilliant, and they're absolutely phobic of marketing. And I just tell them do something, like anything, like do the paid ads. Whereas I presume you're hanging out with more balanced founders that are like launch a paid that are, as a result, not as, I guess, sensible with making a dollar go as far as possible in the same sort of way. And so I think that the happy balance of like doing marketing, committing to doing this stuff, and then also doing one thing long enough to fail it properly. Because the biggest thing I think I see with SaaS fans is like, oh, that didn't work, that didn't work. So how did you do every single bit of it actually so you didn't get like a false negative when it could have got you another 100K at ARR if done correct? And I'm guilty of that as well. Like I'm only just like I think recently getting to the stage where like I'm able to say no to trying a strategy because it sounds fun and exciting to be able to go, no, I'm going to do that lead magnet strategy for the next 5 because this one could work. And I'm not going to go like, oh, I want to go and spend more time somewhere else because I want to see if this can drive way more money per hour invested. And so I think that's another thing, like balancing doing like aggressive marketing and getting value, but also like just doing, thinking of coming up with what you think is going to be the best, running through the list in a way that is effective and actually maximizes the chance of correct data so you don't quit before you get to what can really work is what is my own take on the SaaS founder marketing.
I kind of wonder if there's this weird balance between bootstrap versus fundraise. So we're both. We bootstrap to get started, then we fundraise to step on the gas. And if I had to do it all over again, I would focus more on a bootstrap mentality. Because I think with bootstrapping, you get creative with marketing. You basically go, how do I do $0 marketing? You actually get more focused on maybe results, but I just think with companies that actually fundraise, they have this mentality of I just got to spend my way out of success. And I think with the way marketing is today, it's just we're in a different space.
Yeah. So we have not taken any funding. And so I can only speak from that position. And I've never worked in a business where we just had loads of budget. Like you complemented the SEO strategy, but it was born out of necessity, not because we had massive budgets. It's just because it was the way to get free traffic without spending on advertising to get the same number of page views. It's actually like, I get the difference when you're building something that you own near to 100% of and it's all yours. And so it's easy to go like, oh, I'm going to do this. But then if it doesn't work, you're like, that's all. Like that. There's a level of like emotional connection when it's your money on the line that like that comes differently. And so I'll be honest, we lose like low to mid 5 figures a month on the development at the moment. And that is like a thing to think about. You're like, oh, I lost 30 grand that month, but it comes from like a TAM future expectation and a willingness to commit that risk, but it does absolutely make you like coalesce around like this marketing has to go into the right places and has to be stress tested correctly because it just hits differently when it's not other people's money, right?
It's like a weird respect for money, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's still scary, but like I choose to do it because it's like what I think is the best and I want to get ridiculously rich and you have to put it all on the line to get rich and it is what it is. But it definitely gives the respect and different perspective on it. And I think even if you're funded, you should have that. Because so many people are just doing it for funding's sake and just spending money just to get $60 per 60 cent per dollar back on ad spend just to show revenue. And that to me is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Congratulations, you just burned value like in order to show something. And that's why I never like I invest in VC funds as an LP to get access to the network, but I'll never take VC money because I'm just like, this is just the most inefficient way of deciding where you're going to go. And as not even to mention some of the contracts and what are in there for preferences.
I won't comment on that.
It's not your company anymore, even if you own 60% after the first raise.
Yeah, I've seen that. So that's another discussion. What did I want to talk about? Community. You mentioned community. What do you think about community as a whole? Is this something that I think if you're going to do it, you have to grow organically, but would you advocate for SaaS companies to say, build your own kind of community moat?
Yeah, very good question. So what we actually did is not that, but I do recommend that people do that. Me and I think James Oliver's been on this,
Yes, absolutely.
built a SEO focused affiliate and SaaS tilting and agency tilting elements within that, but like mostly SEO orbit. Community called the Conversion Collective. And just because it was really annoying after HCU, everyone had an opinion, but no one had any data. And so I wanted to get into a community with people that were actually testing stuff. I wanted to go, based on one page, I think it's this. Do you have anything more empirical here? And so started this private community. And then which is great again for the devotion per page view in there, like you have real vetted people that like are the best network to have. And it's been great for that sort of stuff, as well as learning from people who are in there who are really high level as well. But I would do it differently for a SaaS than starting your own. Well, if you're doing your own one, it's for your own pure business goals. And the great thing about Answer Socrates is it's a great lead gen funnel into the community because it's, do you want to learn more? Come here.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a lead gen machine, that thing. Like it's
Okay.
absolutely, like it's got 40,000 emails in 3 months on Answer Socrates. And so I'm pretty happy with how that
Damn.
went. Yeah. A quarter of a mil in 2025 off that one for like just emails, just in the SEOs and similar space. But for the community, how I would do it for different for SaaS, I think there's really good examples. Sasha Fournier, who runs Journo Finder, is an example of someone who I think has done it really well. So it's a digital PR SaaS and he has a circle.so community, which is the best community software in my opinion. It's better than School and all the other ones. Everyone should use Circle in my opinion, but obviously don't own it. We chose it and it is the best. And it is just for customers to go in and talk about digital PR. Now, for us, if no one posts in the community for a couple of days, we get stressed. Oh, this looks shit. Like there's no momentum. And communities are very momentum based. You got to, if people disengage, that encourages other people to disengage. And there's a whole other pressure when people are paying. And truly, we can do a better job than we've done for that, to be honest. But for him, when there's a SaaS thing and everyone's there on just joining and it's a free edition, you don't have that same pressure, which means the community can just organically thrive. And even though there'll only be 1 or 2 posts a week, there's not like it works really well because it's high quality discussion, especially for a SaaS that's priced above $100 a month, where like it's serious, good customers that are coming in, no time wasters, no nonsense. But like for his case, it's just professional digital PRs, refreshing hangout, which is a pretty exclusive club because it hasn't been flooded by anyone who can join. And it's created not something that like is like necessarily like an educational thing for the SaaS, but it's just a place for people to hang out with, which then builds that affinity to the SaaS in return and makes it stickier as a product, which is very interesting how that's developed.
That is super cool. Yeah. And I've heard about the conversion group. I think I've seen some ads where it's starting to pop up everywhere.
Well, hopefully, if it's not in everyone's face, then we haven't done our job, right?
Yeah. Awesome. So I want to finish this with the question I usually ask all guests, which is, what do you see of the future of affiliate marketing as it intersects with business intelligence?
If we're talking as in like, all right, so let's split this up. Do you mean in terms of like the dashboards that the average person has in front of them or in like data that like you don't have to hand that you want to get access to?
Both. I want to know that you actually asked a really good question, which is like a rabbit hole question of um, dashboards in affiliate marketing. I think most of them are broken. That's a topic we're guilty of actually having a not pleasant dashboard, but we're looking to rebuild that. And I think most affiliate marketing companies, they're just copying each other. So what do the next 5 dashboards look like? Oh, we're going to make it our version. And it ends up being the same. There's no insights that have come from dashboards. Knowing that you think like this, we could talk about that all day.
I've got some, and like the reason that we built this, our software was because of my ideas for certain things that we haven't been able to build yet just because it's like a real slog and we need to hire more developers to accelerate this. But I have my own personal opinions on this stuff that I wish I could talk about. I just don't want to give away anything that I
Yeah.
want to be the first to build.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just do think everyone is building like stuff for stuff's sake. And the best thing you can the best thing you can do in most cases, not for you, I'm not saying you, like I'm not talking just generally, in most of the software that we use, just like most of it can be deleted and nothing would be lost. It's just, I'll tell you which software I'm talking about, but we competed with them before. And we had secret accounts in there, as you do in any clever, not functioning business is backdoor it. And it was like, this looks amazing. It's pretty. It's beautiful. It's directional. And I've not got to find anything actionable from it yet. And that wasn't me sounding biased because we were because I was worried. I was really worried. I thought, listen, they cracked it. Like, we're going to struggle here. And then by the end of it, I was like, this is beautiful. But once you spend half an hour in it, it doesn't get you from A to B and doesn't make you make more money. And like I'm a big, like, person that always talks about you need like your time to wow to be like under 30 seconds. They need like that dopamine hit of like crack cocaine level. Oh my God, this is going to change my life. And if it doesn't do that, then you're just like life is built on momentum and moments. If you need that, so then you make it back and then you go and tell your friends about it. And it had that, but you also need enough actionableness to like, I would say it's actually not as important to most people as the initial like pretension of it. But like you need enough. And to me, it didn't have enough behind the hood that it would have got it would get found out. And I would assume that they had retention issues from that because they could have removed most of the products and it would have been more useful. And so that's my opinion on some dashboards. We're going into we're talking about big data. I think there's a huge thing especially with AI, like data analysis for finding stuff that like right now, even what we do is we have to go and sift through data to find who's sending more clicks, to find out why, who's sending less clicks, who's sending too many conversions to sound a bit like that needs investigating per conversion rate. And it's done manually. For some of the fraud detection can be done, but for the most part, for the standard affiliate management, doubling down on what's working and generating more money, still manual. I think there's so much to be done with. I don't want to talk about it. So some stuff that I want to do with our software that will help with that.
Awesome. I'd be happy to share some of the ideas and plans we have on our side and stuff that we geek out on quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of spare capacity, and I think for the level of what's out there, on average, it's not been done to a high enough level, considering how mature this industry is and how much money is in it.
Yeah. There's way too much, and my personal belief is, I think everywhere you look, there's an ability to optimize everything. Like you can optimize a landing page. On the affiliate side, there's a lot of broken links that exist out there as space junk. There's a lot of offers that are just wrong and expired. Look at all the different SEO courses that are just shutting down because of SEO content sites. All these links are going to dead spaces. Yeah. A lot of revenue leak. Jamie, thank you so much for doing this. I want to pass it back to ask how people can get a hold of you.
Yeah, I go by Jamie I.F. It's not my real name, but I.F. was the initials of the soup company that I tried to start and failed. And so I decided that no matter how successful I get, I would never leave that and I would return to it. So I decided to tattoo it on my name and brain and do that. And so that's why I don't go by my real name. I am Jamie_IF on Twitter. My website that I blog on is called increasing.com. You can go to increasing.com/newsletter if you want to hear my weekly rambling takes. I also founded a software company called Endorsely.com, which is a free affiliate software if you are a SaaS company looking to grow your SaaS affiliate program, recruit, track, and pay affiliates. More is coming. It's free up until $20,000 a month in affiliate revenue. And so if you aren't at that stage yet, you'll save yourself about $100 a month if you do that versus using the alternatives.
Brilliant. That will be in the show notes. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much. Cheers, John.
Thank you for tuning in to the Affiliate BI podcast. I'd like to take this time to ask for a small favor to leave a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. That helps us expand our reach to rank higher in podcast directories and reach more listeners.